Jerry Abiog is the CEO and co-founder of Standard Insights, an AI-driven analytics and marketing platform. Jerry takes us through the journey of launching an AI company long before AI became a buzzword. From facing early challenges and skepticism to navigating the complexities of AI integration, Jerry shares his invaluable insights into how AI is transforming industries like warehousing and e-commerce. We dive into how Standard Insights helps businesses leverage data to enhance their efficiency, mitigate inventory waste, and drive economic growth, all while debunking common misconceptions about AI taking over jobs. We also discuss how AI can make workers more efficient, solve high-level challenges, and uncover exciting trends that are reshaping the future of business. As always, if you find value from this content, please be sure to like and subscribe. Now, here's my conversation with Jerry Abiog. Enjoy. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Beyond Fulfillment podcast. I'm your host, Dave Goulas. This week, my guest is the CEO and co-founder of Standard Insights, Jerry Abiog. Welcome, Jerry.
Hey, Dave. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks so much for being here. If you could, for everyone, can you tell us what Standard Insights is?
Yeah, Standard Insights. We are the creators of an AI as a service analytics and marketing platform. And what we do is we help businesses leverage our first-party data to build their economic moat. And so we've been in business 5+ years, well before AI. In addition to our software solution, we also offer our clients software development services, integration services, and digital marketing services that pair well with our software.
Okay, so you started an AI company back in 2019.
Yeah, well before it was cool.
Yeah, and really before anyone at a mass level knew what it was.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So what was that like in the early days of starting the company and trying to explain what this technology is?
Yeah, it was difficult. So we got to go back to 2010, 2011 when I left the corporate world. So when I left the corporate world back then, I started my own businesses helping software companies with sales and marketing initiatives. So this was around 2017, 2018. I had my first client, which my first foray into AI and machine learning. So this was around 2017, 2018. That company failed. But what I learned from that failure, that there was something bubbling beneath the surface with AI and machine learning applications, right? So through serendipitous events around 2018, I would meet my future co-founders, and knowing what I learned from the past failure, I thought there was something to this thing called AI, right? So one of the co-founders developed a prototype, and I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia. So I took that prototype and basically it was helping businesses leverage their data to drive repeat buyers, as mentioned on our website. So I went to Atlanta, flew to Denver, the outdoor retail show, and cold called from booth to booth to booth, talking about AI when no one knew what it was back then. And then when I came back to Atlanta, I secured 2 beta clients. And I wouldn't say we were off to the races because it was a rough start, but that's where the genesis of Standard Insights began.
Okay. So now when you say too, like some previous failures led you to kind of the aha moment, like there's something here with AI, was that along the same lines in terms of businesses using data to
Yeah,
improve their
absolutely.
sales?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there
Okay.
was something, to your point, that aha moment. But back then, if you took 10 people, maybe 1 or 2 knew about it, so maybe 20%. Obviously now it's almost 100 that people know the word AI. So yeah, it all started back then.
Okay. And so in those early days too, and even building it, right? Because we all know AI, right? With it really exploded 2023 and became
Yep.
kind of part, accessible to the masses, I guess. But what was it like even accessing the technology to use in a business back in the early days of the company?
It was difficult. It was challenging, but we were fortunate. There were a handful of folks that really believed in us and what we could do, for them. So that's how it all started. But I mean, it's not even easy today, right? It's a lot easier. Doors are open for us, but yeah, it took a lot of hard work and grinding and getting knocked on your butt back then. Pitching this so-called new concept of AI.
And back then too, did you see it coming, right? Because obviously you were on the cutting edge and of putting this technology out into the business world. Did you see it the moment where it become commonplace like it is today, so fast, just a few years later?
Yes and no, and not so fast. So while we had some early adopters in the beginning, it was really COVID. And as the world began to emerge from that, where business problems, you just couldn't throw money at business problems, right? With business problems, what am I talking about? We're talking about inflation. We're talking about labor shortages. We're talking about high interest rates. So prior to this, interest rates were ultra low. VC funding was, easy to get. Companies were hiring at will. They were growing at all costs without focusing on profitability. But then after the world began to emerge from COVID, the business problems of labor shortages, high inflation, and high interest rates, those aren't going away. And so as those business problems began to mount, companies were forced to pivot, like, oh, I can't get money from the bank anymore, or if I do, it's going to cost a lot. I can't get VC funding anymore. It wasn't as easy as before. Some companies began to lay off as they were doing too much hiring after the pandemic. So it was those events that kind of helped spur us along, because typically companies don't buy software unless they've got a business problem to solve, right? And then back in late 2022, early 23, ChatGPT fell out of the sky for us. And now, like, wow, you're doing AI. Everyone in the last year and a half, started talking about AI, on LinkedIn. But then when they see our website that we've been at it for a while, we're the veterans of AI, right? So to speak, even though we're not. But yeah, everything, just all these different factors and forces. What's that saying? Pennies from heaven, right? Just kind of fell out of the sky, and we're here to capitalize on it.
So now, how is like the mass adoption of AI helped your business?
Yeah, so it's opening up a lot of conversations, right? Not only that, but on a knowledge level, people can see, they can take a look at our website, take a look at the LinkedIn profile. I just came back from San Francisco the other day, and we're we're partners with UC Davis, one of the top masters of business analytics programs in the planet, right there situated in the Bay Area, where modern day technology was born, right? So it's helped. This mass adoption has given us credibility compared to the folks who just opened up their AI company since the rise of ChatGPT.
Okay. And so one of the ways we connected is your technology is very prevalent in the warehousing industry,
Yeah,
and you have a lot of use cases for 3PLs or e-commerce sellers, that sort of
yeah.
thing. What can you just talk about some of the applications for your technology and who it serves best?
Yeah, funny you brought up that point. When I was in San Francisco, I gave a talk on AI, how AI can help address challenges in your supply chain. So to your point, some of the things that we can do is we can help with inventory predictions and predict how much will sell in a given day, week, or month in a SKU, all the way down to the SKU level. So if you've got, by doing that, imagine your inventory cost is say $10 million, right? And you know that 20%, and you can Google this, right? 20% is waste. So 20% of 10 million, that's $2 million. By us helping companies or 3PLs or e-commerce companies predict how much they need to stock or how much they need to sell, forecast down to the SKU level, we can help mitigate inventory dead waste. You're looking at 25–30%, right? So even on conservative numbers, you've got $2 million in waste. You know, a quarter of that is $500,000. So we can help mitigate that by forecasting what needs to be stocked on any given day, week, or month.
Attention manufacturers and e-commerce sellers. Is fulfillment a headache for you? Whether you're fulfilling in-house and you know you need to outsource, or you're with another 3PL, you know you deserve better service, Easy DC 3PL can help. We offer personal service, fast response time, and we're flexible to meet your unique needs. Get in touch today and find out how we can help you. And how quick, because anyone that's used AI is, I mean, one of the most impressive things is the speed at which it can generate answers to really whatever you give it. Like because, you know, companies I've seen in the past too have, you know, staff and all sorts of inventory control people required to, even if they have software stuff to help, right? It's a long process managing millions of dollars worth of inventory. Like, how quick does your model, you know, perform that function?
So once we have, the hard part is the integration and data cleaning. That's probably 80–90% of the work to get the fit. What's that saying? Garbage in, garbage out. But we've got to have the data in the right place. And once we have the data in the right place, it's turning on the light switch, and within like minutes, the analysis is there. However, that's just not the end all be all, right? It's not as simple as what social media or media in general make it. It's not as easy as it seems, right? Yes, it can analyze the data just like that, but there's a lot of cleaning beforehand and then tweaking afterhand to fine tune the predictions.
Okay. And so what does an engagement look like with you? I mean, do you go into a company in terms of you have to like analyze their process, find out how you're going to get the right data in?
Yeah, exactly. So we're analyzing the process. We're doing a deep dive. We're analyzing, problems that they want to solve, right? What's the business problem that they're trying to solve, right? So inventory's a big one, a big piece. So was it early this year? Target sales have dropped for the first time since 2016. Part of that can be attributed to mismanagement of inventory. So, there's a business problem. So once we identify the business problem, next step is, where do we get the data? Is it coming from your ERP, WMS? Is it on spreadsheets or your e-commerce platform, right? So once we know where we're going to get the data, we're talking about integration work. What's the goal of the integration? How often are you going to pull the data? Is it going to be daily, weekly, or monthly? Once we have that, we identify what math are we going to use to analyze the data to make predictions. And lastly, what you want to do is take action in the data, right? So it's a big whole, it's an engagement process to have all that done. It's not as easy as putting a prompt in ChatGPT and voila, there are the answers. Much more detailed, much more involved.
And with that engagement too, like, how are you, just in terms of maybe something you could quantify for the listeners, like time savings, labor savings, that can you offer some?
Yeah, so it'll be to your point, time and labor savings, right? In fact, we've got two ROI calculators on the website. So yes, we try to quantify that. So for labor saving or inventory savings, we talked about, 20, 25%, right? These are just, average figures. Results may vary, but to your point, yes, over time, they are going to be quantifiable results. And if you look into our website, that's the first thing you'll see pop up are potential numbers that your business can achieve.
Okay. Now, with the rise of AI that we've been talking about, one common theme that's been out there is many people are concerned about jobs and even entire industries being eliminated with AI in the next, 5 to 10 years. How do you see like this technology changing the workforce and the labor market in that respect?
It'll make workers much more efficient. So there are three types of AI I like to, there's artificial general intelligence, right? That's getting computer to think and act like a human. That's the robots, the self-driving cars. That gets a lot of negative media coverage that robots are going to take your jobs. It's just not true, right? The second type of AI is the generative AI, the ChatGPTs, the bards that'll help you write an email faster or create music or create code. That gets a lot of press coverage as well, right? A lot of it is negative. A lot of it is they're going to take the jobs away. But the third type of AI is the predictive AI, the boring stuff, right? The non-sexy stuff, the not so much bells and whistles. That's inventory predictions, sales predictions, forecasting, machine learning. That type of AI is really going to help improve and drive, a company's process. So to your point, I don't worry about that, right? The layoffs, all that's not because of AI, right? That's because a lot of these companies, when money was cheap and interest rates were low, they overhired, right? And when the business corrected themselves, like, okay, we got to lay off the dead weight. So to your point, yeah, no, AI taking away jobs, in my opinion, that's unfounded. I mean, I just came back from the Bay Area, right? The birthplace of modern day technology. That didn't come up.
Okay. Yeah, and I've had other robotics people on here and talking about technology innovations and how it's actually going to move civilization forward so much
Yeah,
because it can just take care of all the low level tasks that can be
there
automated
you
and
go.
free up mental space and bandwidth to just
There you go.
evolve, right? Higher level type problems that people can work on.
To that point, I was at the airport when I came back from San Francisco, and there was a robot making coffee in this glass enclosure. So I looked at the robot, like 100, 150,000. It made great coffee, right? But you think about that. You've got a $150,000 robot. And in California, they got a mandated minimum wage at $20 an hour. You multiply that by full-time FTE, full-time employee, 5, 6 workers. Eventually that robot, A, you can't even find workers. B, if you had a coffee shop in California, paying someone $20 an hour could put a dent in your profitability. So why not a robot, to your point, do the low-level tasks faster, cheaper, and more cost-effective?
Sure. And
Yeah.
I'm sure all the hiring managers and the entrepreneurs can also think there's no drama, right, with that
There you
robot.
go.
There's
There's no drama, right? The robot's task is to make coffee, and that's it. But if you do the math, $20 an hour over time, and that robot, you'll get the ROI in due time, right? The robot's not going to complain.
Interesting. All right, and also with regards to AI, right? Like so many people have begun using it in so many different applications within business this past year. Like, what are some of the trends that you're just even from an observer standpoint, you're most excited to see how AI is going to revolutionize business in the coming years?
I think just, outside, looking in, it's just being able to do more with less, right? If you're given an 8 to 10 hour workday, I can get much more done with the help of AI tools. That's on one end, but then it's just going to make the profitability aspect that much better for companies, right? Because we're in a population decline, right? It's the baby boomers retire, the young folks coming up to the workplace. If you don't have people to pick up the productivity slack, it's going to be the folks that are in the workforce combined with technology that's going to help propel growth.
Yeah, yeah, I've heard it said too. It's not man or machine, it's man plus machine, which are
Correct.
going to be the true winners.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right with that, right? But putting that in a newspaper headline, that's not gonna generate clicks, right? But if you put AI is gonna wipe out humanity, take our jobs away, people are gonna click on that article, right? Versus combining both.
Sure. Okay. All right. And so what with your company too, what are you most excited about for the rest of this coming year in 2024 and what you're doing?
Yeah, so yeah, good question. So mentioned in the past where we develop AI software technologies, not only for us internally, but what I'm excited about is that it's due to launch in the next month or so, an AI powered ERP. So in the industries we're working, supply chain, e-commerce, it's not going to have the sexy bells and whistles, write me an email faster type of ad, but it's going to be focused on helping companies drive productivity with inventory predictions, right? That can help out. We can help predict sales. We can do personalized recommendations, so helping the 3PLs and those companies predict or what their customers are likely to purchase. So that's going to be packaged in an ERP that's built on the latest technology. And we're looking for 10 beta clients right now. And we're a small company. We can pivot. We can take suggestions and be at your service than the big publicly traded guys.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. All right. If people want to get in touch with you and learn more about what you're doing or your company Standard Insights, what's the best way they can do that?
Yeah, so I'm on LinkedIn, Jerry Abiog, Abiog, or they can shoot me an email, JERRY @standardinsights.io, and reach out to me. Love to have a discovery call with them.
Okay. All right. And we'll link all that in the show notes as well. All right. Well,
Awesome.
Jerry, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you taking the time. And
Thanks for
that's all
having
the
me on,
time.
Dave.
Thank you. Yeah, that's all the time we have for now. We will see you next time.